Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing good. So in this video we are going to do a few more figures of speech. So we will be doing allusion, apostrophe, paradox, chiasmus, then tautology, then epithet, prolepsis and pun. Here you will be noticing the words, that the figures that where you have to pay attention to. I have written mostly in red color. I mean the texts are written in red. So pay attention to those particular words, and also of course you have to pay attention to my explanations. So without wasting any time, let's start a new video.
Allusion is a figure of speech that makes a reference to a well known person, place, event, a literary work, a work of art, or a myth, directly or implied. It is up to the reader or the listener to make the connection. So, now let's see some examples. If it doesn't stop raining, I'm going to build an ark. So, this reference is from the Holy Bible. I'll give you a background. So, God tells Noah to build an ark and fill it with every species on the earth. When the ark was full, a flood engulfed the earth, and the wicked ones had perished in the flood. But Noah and the others in the ark were saved. So, in this sentence, the speaker is experiencing continuous rainfall, which may lead to a flood like situation. So, he says, if the rain continues, he will build himself an ark, just like Noah, to save his own self and family. The second sentence, she was a good Samaritan and helped the old lady. Now, the word good Samaritan, the term is derived from New Testament. So, who is a good Samaritan? A good Samaritan is a compassionate person who help others selflessly, even a stranger. I'll repeat. So, a good Samaritan is a compassionate person who helps others selflessly, even a stranger too. Okay. So, in the New Testament, there is this account of a Jewish traveler who was left half dead alongside the road by some crook. No passerby was ready to help him, but a Samaritan was passing by. So he was the one who helped him. Those Samaritans and Jews used to despise each other. Still, the Samaritan did not hesitate to help a Jew who was in distress. He helped him out of pure compassion. So, this biblical reference is used in modern days for people who help others in their troubles, and they do it without expecting any returns. Okay. Now, the third example, the tropical island was just like a garden of Eden. The phrase Garden of Eden has also been derived from the Bible. According to the Old Testament, the first humans, Adam and Eve, lived in this land of pristine natural beauty. Now, the Garden of Eden signifies a place which is peaceful and has abundant natural beauty. So, to describe the exquisiteness of a tropical island, the phrase Garden of Eden has been used here in this sentence. Okay, now the fourth sentence. I am not Sherlock Holmes to figure that out. I'll repeat the sentence. I am not Sherlock Holmes to figure that out. The reference here is to everybody's favorite fictional detective character, that is Sherlock Holmes. The character has been created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So the speaker here means that he does not want to investigate and find out the truth about something. So he does not want to play a detective. So here he has used the reference of Sherlock Holmes. Okay. So now we'll do the next figure of speech, that is apostrophe. In apostrophe, the speaker or writer directly addresses someone imaginary. Okay, so the person is absent or even dead, or something that is abstract or inanimate, or even a concept, as if it is a person or the thing were present right there in front of him. So we can say apostrophes are personified ideas or objects, personified ideas or personified objects. This particular figure of speech is found abundantly in poetry, but in modern poetry, apostrophe has become less common. So now we'll go through some examples. The first example: Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to speak to you again. These are the lyrics of the song The Sound of Silence, composed by Paul Simon. I don't know if any of you have heard this song before. Okay. Now, here he is addressing, that is, Paul Simon is addressing darkness, which is an inanimate object in nature, as if it were a person with whom he is having a conversation. So, he's addressing darkness, and he is, saying that darkness is his old friend. So, as if he is meeting a friend and they are having a conversation. Second sentence: Oh, mother, how I wish you were here to see the sight. Um, the speaker is addressing his or her mother who is not present right there to respond. Okay, so either she is in some other place or she might have passed away as well. So here the use of apostrophe has been done to express emotion and not to get a response. The third sentence: O liberty, what crimes have been committed in thy name? The concept of liberty, the speaker is addressing the concept of liberty, okay, and he's addressing in such a way as if it was a person who is there with the speaker and it is able to understand whatever the speaker is saying. So, this is all about apostrophe. Now, let's do paradox. In paradox, a statement appears to contradict itself, but is nevertheless true. Okay, I've written an example over there, which is a very popular paradox, that is less is more. Okay, now upon scrutiny, the reader discovers the truth or the underlying reason for such self contradiction. So here in the sentence, less is more, you can see less is contradictory to more, right? Okay. Now the statement less is more that I have been referring to here, um, it means having bare essentials is better than having hundreds of unnecessary things. Means minimalism makes life less complicated. Okay. So, paradox is a sentence which is self contradictory in nature. And it is such constructions are done to draw attention of the reader. So, we'll now go through more examples. The first example: I have to be cruel in order to be kind. So, cruel and kind, these are two opposite words. They are like contradict them. The words contradict each other. So, the sentence means for someone's good, I have to act cruel as it may help the other person in some way. Okay. So, this was an example of paradox. Now, second example: my weakness is my strength. So, weakness and strength, they are contradictory ideas, right? So, this has been used to mean a person's strength can also become his weakness, as he will always expect the best from his own self. And he may also, there may be like situations where he does not live up to his own expectation, and he may turn unkind and critical to own self. Okay, so this sentence, my weakness is my strength, is a paradox. The third sentence: no one goes to that store because it is too crowded. Now, in this sentence, no one and crowded are total contradictions. I mean, how can a place be crowded if no one goes there? But the underlying meaning of this sentence is the store that is being referred to here generally attracts a lot of customers, okay, and is crowded for most of the time. So the other people avoid going to that store because overcrowding, I mean, is inconvenient. So people avoid going to that store, but mostly it is crowded. So many people goes, but there are again some people who choose not to go because it gets crowded. Now the fourth one, I know that I know nothing. I know that I know nothing. This is a saying derived from Plato's account of the Greek philosopher Socrates. This statement is also called Socratic paradox. Okay, Socratic paradox. What does this sentence mean? The sentence means uh, true wisdom is when we realize that how little we understand about life and the world around us. Okay, so Socrates was the wisest man of his time, but he says that he does not know, I mean, he does not even suppose that he knows anything. He admits of his ignorance. So, this is a paradox. So, I think you have noticed that I've written the words that are contradicting each other in red. So, focus on those red words written in red. Okay. So, now we'll move to chiasmus. The word chiasmus has been derived from Greek and it means crisscross. Okay, it means crisscross. So, what happens is in chiasmus is the second part of a sentence is balanced against the first part, but the part gets reversed. So, it forms a crisscross pattern. We'll see some examples and that will help us to understand better. The first sentence, pleasure is a sin and sometimes sin is a pleasure. Pleasure is a sin and sometimes sin is a pleasure. Notice the phrase pleasure is a sin has been reversed and written as sin is a pleasure in the second part of the sentence. Right? Okay, now moving to the second sentence. We forget what we want to remember and we remember what we want to forget. So, what is happening here is the phrase we forget what we want to remember is reversed in the second part of the sentence and has been written as we remember what we want to forget. Now, the third sentence, do as I say and not as I do, follows the same crisscross pattern. Let's see the fourth sentence. The fourth sentence says, mankind must end war, or war will be the end of mankind. So, these are the famous words of the then President of America, John F. Kennedy, when he was addressing the United Nations. So, this is an example of chiasmus because of its crisscross pattern. Moving on to tautology. In tautology, what happens is an idea or an expression or a phrase is needlessly repeated. Means the same thing is said twice, just in a different way. It is generally considered to be a fault of style. So, um, writers generally avoid, falling into tautology. Okay, now let's go through some examples. The first example. In my opinion, I think that we must go ahead with the idea. Again, in this slide, you will see I have written words in red. They are in two different shades. So, they are like, say, for example, in this sentence, the word opinion and the word think, they are synonymous to each other. So, one could be avoided. So, to make you understand, I've written them in two different shades, okay, and I've underlined one. That means we could have chosen opinion and left out think, or we could have chosen think and could have omitted opinion. So why so? Because when I say opinion followed by think, it becomes unnecessary. We are repeating the same idea. Unnecessarily we are doing that. So in this sentence, we could, like I said, omitted either opinion or think. Now the next sentence. Say it again once more. Say it again once more. Now again and once more mean the same, right? So either again, either we could have used again or we could have used once more. The third sentence, it reads, is this adequate enough? Is this adequate enough? Now adequate and enough are synonyms. So we could have retained any one of the two words, right? Now let's read the next example. The players arrived one after the other in succession. The players arrived one after the other in succession. So when it is said one after the other, the idea has already been expressed. So using the word succession was totally unnecessary here. Correct? So moving on to epithet. When an adjective or a phrase is used to express a characteristic of a person or a thing, the figure of speech is epithet. I'll repeat. When an adjective or a phrase is used to express a characteristic of a person or a thing, the figure of speech is epithet. So the adjective can be used in a positive or a negative way. It depends on the speaker, what the speaker will choose to do. Now, why is epithet used in writings? Because epithets give a richer meaning to texts, leading to like broader description of characters. Poetry and prose, they become vibrant and more impressive when fewer words are used to develop suitable images. Now, let's go through examples to understand this better. The first example, the grey-eyed Athena. I think most of you have read the story of Athena. At least you know about Athena and Medusa, the story where Athena curses Medusa because of her misbehavior, and Medusa turns into like a monster. She turns her head, her hair turns into snakes, and uh, I mean, she turns into a monster. So we are talking about Athena. Now, let me tell you a bit more about Athena. Who is Athena? Athena is the Greek goddess of wisdom. Owl, the symbol of wisdom, has been associated with her. We know, right? We believe, it's like a myth that owl is the symbol of wisdom. So, owl is associated with the Greek goddess Athena. Perhaps this association with an owl is the reason why the color of her eyes have been portrayed as grey. So, like that of an owl only, okay? So, both have grey eyes. So, owl has grey eyes, and Athena, because owl has been associated with her, she also has grey eyes. The second example. The second example, isn't the sea what algae calls it, a great sweet mother? Now, this is from the novel Ulysses by James Joyce. Here, he has used the epithet a great sweet mother to describe the sea. Okay. Now, this has a lot of, reference here, who is algae, and this has been taken from another poem. But let's not go into that. So, let's understand that here James Joyce has used a great sweet mother, this particular expression, to describe the sea. So, like for a sailor, the sea is like a mother. Now, the third example, sailing across the wine dark sea. Now, this is from Odyssey. Okay, so in his epic poem Odyssey, Homer, the poet, has used the epithet wine dark to describe the color of the sea. Okay, so we are done with epithet. Now let us do prolepsis. In Greek, the word pro, means before or in advance. So prolepsis means a flash forward moment in stories or novels or films. So what it means is a future act is represented as if it has already happened. Okay, please pay attention to the term future act. What a future act is represented as if it has already happened. So we can say that some parts of a plot of a story is revealed to the reader beforehand. So prolepsis can also be defined as anticipation of an event. Okay, so now we'll go through examples to understand this prolepsis. The first example, if you tell the cops you are a dead man. If you tell the cops you are a dead man. The speaker is giving an idea to the listener what the future holds for him if he gives out to the cops. Okay, so he will for sure die if he says, if he like goes to the cops and tells whatever secret he has. The second example, so the two brothers and their murdered man rode past fair Florence. So the two brothers and their murdered man. How can a murdered man ride a horse, right? So that means the man will be murdered later. So we'll analyze the sentence, okay? Now this is taken from Isabella, written by John Keats. So the sentence tells us of a man who is alive at that point of time and is riding with two brothers. But his assassination has already been planned. So means he will be murdered shortly. Though now he is riding with the two brothers, but he will be murdered shortly. So this is how prolepsis works. Now the third example. The third example is from the famous play Hamlet by William Shakespeare. The sentence I'm referring to here is, you will lose this wager, my lord. You will lose this wager, my lord. Now, the central character, Hamlet, was invited to a fencing challenge in which he lost and eventually died because of foul play. So, when Horatio says that Hamlet will lose the fencing challenge, his assertion with the kind of surety he said indicates a flash forward to the final death scene. So the reader understands that probably something will happen to Hamlet, something fatal is going to happen to Hamlet. So Horatio knew that Hamlet was a better fencer in comparison to his opponent, but still he said that Hamlet will lose the challenge. So this is prolepsis. It is as if he knew that Hamlet would lose the challenge and eventually die. Now next is pun. So pun is fun, I mean, it's a play of words. It is a play of words to induce humor. We say like it is a pun when the same word or words suggest two or more meaning. Okay, in this figure of speech, homonyms and homophones are commonly used. So before discussing the examples of pun, I'll explain in short what is homophones and homonyms are.
So let's talk about homophones and homonyms. Okay. So homophones are words which sounds the same but they have different spellings. Okay. They sound the same but they have different spellings. So the word homophone means same sounding words. Now I will discuss some examples. First I would like to tell you about the sound flower. So one spelling of flower is flower, as in like rose flower, jasmine flower. So many flowers are there. And another spelling is flour, flour. So flour is a ingredient that is used in cooking, especially to bake cakes and make breads and biscuits, etc. So this was homophone. So now we will be discussing homonym. So in homonym, what happens is the spelling remains the same, the pronunciation also remains the same, but the meaning changes. Okay. So the first word that comes to my mind is watch. Okay, watch. So watch, one watch, WATCH, one watch is like wristwatch where we watch time, where we see time. And another watch is watching someone. Okay, so watching TV, watching films, that way. So the first watch is a noun, and the second watch, to watch someone, that is a verb. Okay, so the meaning, changed, but the spelling remained the same. So this was homonym. Another example I would like to give you is the word spring. Okay, spring, spring. So spring, one meaning is the spring season. Another meaning is spring, like the machinery, part of a machine that we very commonly see in our houses, inside a pen or in toys or even in watches and clocks. Okay? So that is the second meaning. And the third meaning is a verb in a verb form, that is to jump, spring in action. The tiger sprang on a deer. So three meanings of spring you can use in, you can use the word spring in three different ways. So in spring season, another one is a spring that is a part of a machine, and another one as a verb where someone is jumping. Okay, so this was the difference between homophone and homonym. So just to summarize the whole thing, homophones are same sounding words but with different spellings. Okay, same sound but the spellings are different. But in homonyms, sounds are same, spellings are same, meanings are different. Okay, so this is the difference between homophone and homonym, and this will help you in understanding the examples of pun that we will be doing right now.
Moving on to the examples of pun. The first sentence, fish are smart as they live in a school. Now, in this sentence, smartness has been associated with the school, with the word school, and the collective noun for fish is school. See, one word school is giving us two meanings. One is you will be you I mean you can be smart if you go to school, and it is a collective noun for school. Sorry, it is a collective noun for fish. The second sentence, I go to the dentist so often that I know the drill. Now, here the word drill has been used as a noun, that is like a drilling machine that a dentist use, and also as a verb, means the whole exercise of visiting a dentist and what does a dentist do, all of that is to mean all of those, the word drill has been used also as a verb. So at the same time the word drill has been used as a noun and as a verb. Now the third sentence, what is the difference between a conductor and a teacher? The conductor minds the train and the teacher trains the mind. So now if you pay attention, then you will notice that I have written the two words in red and two words in yellow. So the two words, that is minds and trains, that I have written in red are verbs, and the ones that I have written in yellow are nouns. So the first set of words, the conductor minds the train, means the conductor is in charge of the train, how the train will run, where the train will stop, that way. And a teacher trains the mind means a teacher is responsible, a teacher works to train the minds of children. So, once the word minds has been used as a verb, and in the second case, it has been used as a noun, And the first word, in the first case, train has been used as a noun, and the second train has been used as a verb.
I hope you have understood all the figures of speech that we have done today. So in our next video, I'll be coming with a worksheet for you to practice all you have done today. Okay. And after watching the video, today's video, if you have any doubt, then please write in the comment box, or you can mail me also at grammargranny.info@gmail.com. So see you in our next video with worksheets to practice. Okay. So, bye bye. Take care, all of you. Sayonara.